So, in my last video, I talked about the Piscean Age versus the Aquarian Age. We are moving into the Aquarian Age. I am the Aquarian Age luminary and a soul companion. And my purpose is to help you move from the Piscean Age to the Aquarian Age. Now, the concept I'm going to talk about today is sovereignty. Sovereignty is the most important part of Aquarian living. In the Piscean Age, we gave our power. We looked at leaders to determine who we are and what was right for us. In the Aquarian Age, we are sovereign. Sovereignty is often misunderstood as being hardness, but real sovereignty is quiet. It's realizing that you don't have any control over anybody, or actually anything but yourself. And when you realize this, your body stops bracing and you can relax and belong to your own soul. Now, this realization didn't come easy to me. About a year ago, I was with family in Chicago, and there was a very explosive experience that we all had. And I realized that a relationship that I had been in for 20 years, I overmanaged it, and my needs were not being met. I would try to have them met, and then it just kind of disappeared, and I accepted that. And I got smaller and smaller, wishing for something to happen that I knew deep inside wasn't ever going to happen again. And then also at this time, I lost connection with the most important relationship in my life. And then my mother, who was living in an assisted living facility, her dementia suddenly got really, really bad and worsened quickly, and she was moved to memory care. All of this was breaking my foundation of who I knew to be and just my life in general. And then the final straw was I had this lovely, lovely outdoor cat named Princess. Now, Princess would come, when I would come down the hill, she'd come running up to meet me. She would rub against me and purr. I loved her to pieces, and I was her special human. Now, she was positive for that feline disease that can be very destructive and kill cats. And when I had her tested for this, I started to undertake to give her medicine, and she would go on steroids every once in a while. I would feed her special food, and for several years she was okay. And then she took a turn for the worst, and I was taking her to the vet. I was giving her a shot every day. I was giving her special food, and she didn't eat for quite a while, and then she started to get better. She started to eat again, and she became my sweet kitty, or was on the way to becoming my sweet kitty again. And then just a couple days after that, she was hit by a car and killed. And that was the final straw. I completely fell apart. The person who I knew myself to be was gone. My foundation was gone. But then I stopped, and I realized, with the demise of all of these different things, I no longer had to carry everybody's well-being, or what I thought was their well-being, inside of me. I had freedom. And in this freedom, instead of trying to please everybody or worrying about what everybody was thinking, was that person okay, or did I make that person mad or upset? In that freedom was me, was sovereign me, and the expansiveness and the growth that happened after that was incredible. And that's what being sovereign is about. I changed from being Cynthia, a people pleaser, a nice person, even a spiritual person, but a person who never prioritized herself, into being Alyanira, a sovereign soul who loves everybody unconditionally, because once you're sovereign, the transactional nature of love disappears. You just love because you are love, and you belong to yourself. And this being fully sovereign has allowed me to stay calm, has allowed me to grow this knowing of what sovereignty in Aquarian Age living is into a beautiful, calm, loving environment. So one of the principles of the Rose Ray is that we are love. Love is not earned, love is not given. Just that we are love. Love is who we are. Another one is sovereignty is sacred. When we treat ourselves as something sacred, that's when we belong to ourselves. So to have a feeling of what this is, I'm inviting you to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly and say, I release the need to manage. I release the need to manage others. I release the need to manage what is beyond my control. I receive myself in trust and in love. I belong to myself. Now think about where you can let go, where you can really start feeling sovereign, where you don't need to worry about anybody's reaction to you, but just do what is in alignment with your own soul. Practice some sovereignty.